Yo, what's up, everybody? This your boy Ben from Ben and Tanaye, and we are back with week 4 of the NFC East breakdown. Now, to say the least, it was a horrible week for the NFC East. We all lost, so no love lost. It was a bad week for all of us. So we're gonna start off with the Dallas Cowboys going into Houston, the Battle of Texas. Now, as you saw last week, I picked the Texans to win, and that's exactly what they did. They won in overtime. It was a really defensive game. Both of the defenses were playing very, very good. It was hard to get in the end zone, man. It was a couple goal line stands going. I feel like the difference for the Texans, they had DeAndre Hopkins. This guy, man, whenever you needed possession, he was the guy to go to. He hit just to end the game, basically, to get the team in the field goal range in overtime to kick the game-winning field goal. My man put 2 defenders in the spin cycle to get into field goal range, man. This was amazing.
Fake toss. Watson throws. Caught. And this is Hopkins into Dallas territory. On his feet. Look at that. A whirling dervish to the 27.
And another difference is, Ezekiel Elliott did not have a good game. The Houston Texans defense, they held Ezekiel Elliott to only 54 yards. Now you say, oh, I mean, no, he had 20 carries for 54 yards. The Houston Texans defense, that's a win for them. I think any team in the NFL would love to give up 54 yards for a whole game to Ezekiel Elliott. So 20 carries and 54 yards. Let me put that in perspective. Deshaun Watson, the Houston Texans quarterback, he had 40 rushing yards. So that means Ezekiel Elliott only had 14 more rushing yards than the opposing team's quarterback. That's crazy. Now, Dak Prescott, he was under pressure all night. He was making he was elusive. I give him that. He was very elusive, and he was getting from the premier pass rushers, J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney. He was getting from them. So he was making plays down the field. The receivers actually stepped up for the Dallas Cowboys, but both teams had troubles getting into the end zone, so that's why they went to overtime. Deshaun Watson, he was biting on a rib injury. Every time he went to the sideline, he was checking his ribs, but he came back in the game and delivered a win for the Houston Texans. Now, the Giants versus the Panthers. The Giants lost again. I had the Giants losing. If you checked last week, I had the Giants losing, and they lost. The Carolina Panthers, they protected their house. The Carolina Panthers protected their house. It was a very close game, man. 33-31 was the final score. Man, that was a good game. That's the best the Giants looked all year, and it ended with a loss. That's sad. Like I said, I feel sorry for them, man, but here's a bright spot. Odell Beckham, he threw a touchdown pass to Saquon Barkley. Check this out. Not only did he do that, but I feel like the Giants are finally using Odell Beckham the way he should be used. He is the X factor on their team. He is the most talented person on their team. So they had him in punt return. They had him throwing touchdown passes as a receiver. He was doing it all, and that's how you need to use him. I know a lot of people say don't put one of your franchise players out there on a punt return, but he's a playmaker, so why not? And then you still have Saquon Barkley, who's another playmaker on this offense. The offense looked way better. They looked good, man. And the only thing that got them was poor tackling. Oh yeah, and this one thing too. Check this out.
This season, Panthers do not lose a timeout. Samuel in motion. The handoff to McCaffrey, and then he flips it.
Cam Newton is bigger than some linebackers, so for him to throw that block, It's not surprising, but it looks good because he's a quarterback and he's throwing a vicious block at that, not just a pity pat block. He put his body into that block, and that was a good block. So I don't know what to think for the Giants, man. I really don't. And then Odell Beckham, he's having interviews with Lil Wayne, and he's talking crazy about his team. And he seems to feel like that actually put a spark into the Giants. And who knows, maybe in the long run, yes. But he can say whatever he wants. They already paid him. So, yeah, the 1-4 Giants. They lost to the Carolina Panthers. Now let's get to this premier matchup. Kirk Cousins once again playing the Philadelphia Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles was at home. They were at home. And as you saw last week, I picked the Minnesota Vikings to win. It was a very, very good game. A very well defensive played game. They was getting to Carson Wentz all day. Linval Joseph had a pick six, a big guy. I don't know how much he even weighs. He had a pick six. Man, I'm telling you. But Kirk Cousins, very accurate. Played a very great game. He was 30 for 37. That's a good game, man, for 301 yards. Carson Wentz, he had an okay game, 24 for 35 with 311 yards. 2 TDs. So, Linval Joseph, it was a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Even though the ball went up in the air, it was a fumble and it wasn't a thrown pass. It was a good game, man. Defensively, both teams played well. It was a tight game all the way to the end. The score was 23-21. Minnesota Vikings took the win and a last-second field goal to beat the Eagles. Now, I was excited. I was excited that all the teams in the NFC East lost, because I'm thinking maybe we can try to get a win and we can just solidify ourselves as number one spot. We're going to be number one anyway with the loss, but why not go for the win so we can be 3-1 solely in first place without question in the NFC East. But in the back of my mind, me being a realistic person, we always play horrible on Monday nights. I'm talking about horrible, like we don't know how to play football at all. We get embarrassed on Monday nights. And it's weird, I know it's not such thing as a Monday night curse, but on Monday nights, we play horrible. And the crazy thing is, on Sunday nights, we always dominate. It's weird. So I didn't really have my hopes up. I sat and watched the game. I don't never talk trash anyway, but I didn't talk about the game before the game. I just was like, we'll see, because I was kind of skeptical about how the game is going to play out. I mean, it's Drew Brees, man, and he's been playing very well. And shout out to Drew Brees, man. He's the all-time leading passing king. All-time leading yards and passing yards. That's dope. I just hated it had to be on us. And the way he did it was a touchdown from a blown coverage. So let's get straight into it, man. I'm about to go on a rant. I saved the Redskins for last because they are making me upset. They made me upset last night. I couldn't even finish watching the game. That's how bad it was. So we're gonna start with the obvious. The play calling was horrible. Jay Gruden, I feel like he needs to just give it up and let somebody else call the plays. I've been talking to my friends. It was like, oh, we don't have an offensive coordinator. We do. We did. And guess what? He's 5-0 right now with the LA Rams. Yeah. So the play calling was horrible. I guess Adrian Peterson got a little bit banged up. They checked his leg for a hyperextension from the first play of the game. He came back again. He was doing a little something, but I think he dislocated his shoulder. So he was sitting on the sideline a lot of the game, and we kept trying to run the ball with Chris Thompson. And I love Chris Thompson, but Chris Thompson is not an every down back. He's too small. He can't take the punishment. So we were trying to run the ball with him. It wasn't working. Alex Smith, I think he had one of his worst games that he ever had. It was bringing pressure. The Saints defense was bringing pressure. I give him that. But the defense wasn't that good. He was making some bad throws. He threw a pick. It just was ugly. I just even thinking about it again is making me upset. Let's see what else. Oh man, we were clueless on defense. We didn't stop the run. We didn't stop the pass. We weren't communicating. What are you guys doing? And I understand Josh Norman is no longer the best corner on our team. He wasn't the best corner last year, so it didn't really matter. I mean, Quentin Dunbar, he tried to do his thing. We just weren't communicating, and we were just missing a lot of assignments. And Drew Brees was just having his way all night, and it was making me mad. What else? I mean, the Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, they were trying, man. They played with effort. I can say that. They were upset about it. I can say that. But it just didn't matter. We let Mark Ingram come in fresh off of a suspension and be back like he never left. Come on, man. Like, that just can't happen. You got him on the screen. We shut down Alvin Kamara, but we had him on the screen. Man. And don't let me get started on the refs, man. I feel like it just felt staged. It felt so weird. Cause coming into the game, the announcers, they were all just rooting for Drew Brees to break the record. It was supposed to be his record-breaking night, so it was just meant to be. How everything shaped up, it looked so scripted, but the refs did not help any. We had Ryan Kerrigan gets held every single play of his career. I'm sure of it. I don't care. I'm sure of it. And these are blatant holds. I know the rules of holding. So Ryan Kerrigan, if he was getting held and the quarterback is all the way on the other side of the field, it doesn't matter. But he was getting held right when he was reaching for Drew Brees, right in the referee's face. Blatant missed call every time. A play where he went to the end zone and Quentin Dunbar broke it up should have been an offensive pass interference. Michael Thomas, he grabbed his face mask, and that kind of stopped him from getting the pick. That should have been a turnover. And then just not being aware. We weren't aware. We had a fumble, and we made Mark Ingram fumble. We should have stayed on him, and Mark Ingram got his own fumble, and he was a couple feet away, and we still didn't get the ball back. We needed that. So it just wasn't a good game, man. I was highly disappointed. I'm not one of them fans that just live in a fantasy. I call it how it is, man. And we were trash last night. And it's not the first time I've seen it. It's not the first time I'm going to say it. But we got to do better, man. We got a short week. We got Carolina on Sunday at home. We can't make those same mistakes. Point blank. We got Cam Newton, man. We got another dynamic quarterback coming into our house. We need to get it together. So with that being said, I'm going to go with our picks for next week. And like I said, we got the Washington Redskins at home against the Carolina Panthers. I still got faith in my boys, man. I'm just so mad at them, man. I'm so upset with them. I feel like we should win the game. I'm going to pick us. But I will say, if we do the same thing we did last week or this past game, we're going to lose at home in front of our fans. So just be prepared for that. I'm picking us for the win if we execute. If we don't execute, it's the Carolina Panthers. So Thursday night, this Thursday, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Giants. It's another division game. The Giants is playing their second division game. And this is pretty important for the Giants. I feel like if they lose this, they're going to go to 1-5. That's ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say the New York Giants at home are going to win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, it's just a hunch. They're desperate. I'm always going to go for the desperate team. We got the Jacksonville Jaguars coming into Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys. This is an easy one. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning. The defense is just too good. They're going to get to Dak Prescott. They have elite cornerbacks. and it just is what it is. The only person that can lose to the Cowboys is Blake Bortles, but I feel like their defense is going to ball out. So I'm choosing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And by the way, the Dallas defense, they look pretty good, man. I'm not going to lie. They got some pieces there, but the defense is not better than Jacksonville, so I'm going with Jacksonville. It's it. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening to my rant. Make sure you like this video if you enjoy it. Make sure you subscribe if you are brand new. Hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop a video. Not just NFC East breakdown, but our weekend vlogs too. So, thank you guys so much for watching, man. See you later. Peace.